If you're a horror fan who loves blood and gore mixed with a hefty heaping of black comedy, chances are you've heard of Eli Roth. He's the purveyor of such cinematic masterpieces as cannibal film The Green Inferno, the incredibly nasty body horror film Cabin Fever, and two films that when you say the titles, most 20-somethings can immediately remember the PTSD that just the poster caused them, Hostel 1 and 2. And if you've seen 2007's Grindhouse double feature, which was a double feature of Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof and Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror, and you've seen the hilariously campy fake trailers for fake horror movies in the middle, you'll definitely be familiar with the concept of what I'm here to talk about today, a movie 14 years in the making that Eli Roth fans have been clamoring for.
I want it now!
Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the long-awaited full adaptation of the best fake trailer from Grindhouse, Thanksgiving. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do at the end of the video. If I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so that you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Expanding on the concept of that trailer in incredibly creative ways, Thanksgiving opens on, when else, Thanksgiving night in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where we meet our main characters, including Patrick Dempsey as Sheriff Newland and Nell Verloc as Jessica, the teenage daughter of Rick Hoffman's Thomas Wright, a wealthy man that owns a chain of department stores called Wright Mart. Eventually we end up at one of these stores as the early Black Friday sales are beginning, and that is where we witness the full insanity of Black Friday shopping, with ravenous customers fighting and cursing in the parking lot and trying to push their way into the closed store while only 2 security guards are working. 2 for a crowd of like 300.
2, count 'em, 2.
It's not long before the doors open and pandemonium begins, leaving Jessica and her friends in the crossfire while people are trampled, brutally injured, or just otherwise unalived in this rush for the best deals. This scene is a perfect tone setter for the rest of the film, giving us a glimpse of the bloody, over-the-top violence and black comedy that we'll be seeing over the next hour and 45 minutes, and let me tell you, I was hooked.
Damn, that is good.
After the sheriff puts an end to this massacre, we pick up about 1 year later, coming up on Thanksgiving again, with the memory of this tragedy all too fresh in the minds of the Plymouth citizens.
I used to love this town. Until what happened that night. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I'm tired of pretending like everything is normal and it's not.
But it's about to get way worse, because someone, vowing to get revenge on the people that had a hand in just how crazy that Thanksgiving night became, is dressing up as Plymouth's own founder, John Carver, who came over on the Mayflower. That's fine, people tend to do that around Thanksgiving in Plymouth, but the difference is that he's also murdering people in brutal, vicious ways, setting up their remains at a dinner scene, taking pictures and posting them to Instagram.
Yikes.
Yeah. Along with place settings that hold a spot for Jessica and everybody that she cares about, showing them that they're next, from her father to all of her friends.
This is weird. We're all tagged, and our names are at the table.
As much as I love the campiness and sort of ugly fun of Eli Roth's earlier films, it really feels like this is the masterpiece that his career has been building to. It has that dark humor like I said, but it's also incredibly well polished and it really feels like a modern big budget horror film, even though from what I understand it was pretty moderately budgeted. Yeah, if you're paying attention you'll be able to guess the identity of the killer pretty early on, but this was only a minor disappointment for me and really didn't affect my overall enjoyment of the movie. Right from the get-go with that crazy Black Friday sequence, Roth just fills this movie with his trademark mean-spirited fun, tossing heapings of practical blood and gore at the audience, along with fun, clever kills that make you squirm in your seat and laugh in disbelief at the same time, while surprisingly giving the main characters enough space in the script to actually breathe and feel like real people, even if a lot of the side characters suffer from a lack of screen time thanks to the whole whodunit aspect of the script, since the reveal of who John Carver actually is doesn't come until late into the third act. Putting aside how goofy his Bostonian accent can get, Patrick Dempsey really kills it here as the sheriff.
Show some enthusiasm. Thanksgiving is an institution here.
And proves why he became so beloved over the years. He keeps that charm that he always had while playing up some sincere authority as the sheriff here, being one of the only cool-headed people when the bodies start to show up. I also appreciated the characterization of Nell Verloc's Jessica. Far from a typical shallow girl that you may see in a movie like this, she has a lot in the way to make you root for her, including her love triangle with ex-boyfriend Bobby, played by Jalen Thomas Brooks, and new boyfriend Ryan, played by Milo Manheim. They are, admittedly, 2 of the weakest characters who suffer from the whole Scream approach where
Everybody's a suspect!
having too little screen time that kind of eats into their characterization, but they work as an effective extra conflict for Jessica that pushes her to the breaking point at a pretty crucial point in the film.
I'm going to lose my shit.
Her whole character is also very impacted by the relationship with her dad Thomas, owner of the Right Mart store that I mentioned earlier. She obviously has nothing to do with his corporate greed, but just like in real life, she gets plenty of shit just for being his daughter, and the added conflict between her and Thomas's gold-digging girlfriend Kathleen,
It is going to be a very happy Thanksgiving.
played by Karen Cleesh. Is that really what her name is? All just combined to make her a very rootable character, like I said before. The rest of the cast is fine too, and some of them play their roles with a bit of a subversion, like Gabriel Davenport's Scuba, who proves very early on in the movie that he's much more than just the typical black guy in a horror movie.
It's just the black guy always dies. Alien, Rocky IV, The Shining.
Star Trek II, Forrest Gump, Witness.
Annie Hall. Not Annie Hall.
Even if the rest of them end up being barely more than a two-dimensional caricature of, say, a douchebag jock that loves to party and get into fights with rival football teams like Tommaso Manelli's Evan, a typical blonde bimbo that spends too much time on her phone like Gabby, played by Jenna Warren, or a 30-something loser that spends his time selling alcohol and guns to high schoolers like Joe Delphin's McCarty. Though I will say that nearly every character here, and there is a lot of side characters, have at least one moment to make you laugh or get unalived in such a way that it's just really awesome to watch.
Awesome!
Because pretty much every single time, it's very visceral, it has practical effects, and it got a reaction from me. And ultimately, that's what this movie does best. It's also not super deep, though it does bring up themes of capitalism and how that infects the spirit of a holiday. But those are more subtext than what the movie is all about, thankfully, and the movie never reaches the line of preachy.
A little preachy.
Many of the characters also leave a lot to be desired in terms of depth, but the script and movie know this and deliver what genre fans are here for, letting John Carver do his thing, attacking with a ferocity and demented sense of humor that will leave horror fans definitely satisfied, especially fans of Eli Roth that have been waiting for this movie since 2007. And I absolutely love the depraved insanity that comes in the third act, tying a neat little bow on this short and fun horror film, even if the reveal of Carver's identity was telegraphed pretty early on and raises a lot more questions than it answers. I hope to see a sequel, and in this day and age of non-stop sequels and reboots, that's probably the biggest praise I can give it.
Hey guys, great news. I got the call this morning from Sony. We're doing a sequel.
And that's my review of Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it earlier. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new content. While you're at it, you can scroll down to the description, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the movie if you saw it, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. It'll take you to my review of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Ridley Scott's Napoleon.